Hello everyone, welcome to my screencast. I hope you enjoy it. The first thing I'm going to talk about are criterion referenced tests. Criterion referenced tests are tests that provide and translate scores into a statement about the expected behavior of a person based on those scores in the student's relationship to specific subject matters. The next thing I'm going to talk about is formative assessment. Formative assessment is related to students forming all of their ideas together. In class, we related formative assessment to building a snowman. It's like building a snowman because when all of the students form what they know and put all of their ideas together, it is like building a snowman higher. Next, we're going to talk about summative assessment. Summative assessment refers to the assessment of the student's learning and summarizes the development of that student at a particular time. Here are two pictures of an example of something that is related to formative assessment and something that would be an example of summative assessment. Over here we have what's called the postcard summary. This is an example of formative assessment. And over here we have a math test, and this could be an example of what a teacher would use in terms of summative assessment. The next thing we're going to talk about is triangulation. Triangulation is the way teachers make sure they are taking into consideration all of the possible different ways of evaluation. In this picture, it shows that the criterion reference test, or the Brigance test, which is up here, and the formative and summative assessments on the left side, and the conversations and observations made are the methods used to make up this certain triangle. It is crucial in the field of special education to know how to properly give the Brigance test. When giving the Brigance test, the first thing that you need to do is introduce the test to the student. Let them know why they are taking either the math or the reading Brigance. After you introduce the test, read the instructions while showing the student on their test what part of the test those instructions are for. After the instructions are read, go through the test until you feel the student has gone as far as they can go or have missed more than allowed for that grade level. Here is a picture of one of the students that I worked with taking the Brigance math test. After giving the Brigance, it is important to document the results of the test in a chart that looks something like this. It's very important to keep these records so you can see the growth that your child has made and what things you need to work on with your child. Here are the grade levels, and here's where the dates of the tests would go. The recording that I did for my student was for the Brigance math, and my student finished at the lower third grade level. Along with the chart recording the results of the tests is very important to keep goals for your student. For example, these are some of the goals that I had set for my student based on the results of the Brigance math test that we took. My first goal is that by the end of the first marking period of next school year, my student would be testing at the upper third grade level in the math Brigance test. And then following that goal are goals for the remaining 3 semesters on where I want my student to be. The results of the graph that I showed would be very helpful when it came to planning, because it would show me the strengths and weaknesses of my student, and it would show me what we really needed to work on. It would also help me come up with different goals that I should be setting for my student. In this video, I'm going to show you a sample lesson that I made for my placement students on how to convert improper fractions to mixed numbers. In this video, I do problems 1 through 3, and then the next day in class, my placement students and I did other problems together and made our own videos. So here is one of the problems that I did for my placement students.
Let's take a look at problem number 1. We have 7 divided by 3. Now remember, improper fractions are top-heavy fractions, so we have to tip them over. So for this one, we're going to tip it over. Now, I'm going to look on my number chart and see how many times 3 goes into 7. 3 goes into 7 2 times, so then I have to subtract the 6 because 3 times 2 is 6, and I have a 1 left over, so I have a remainder of 1. So my final answer will be 2 and 1/3, because your remainder always goes over this number.
Throughout this process, I have learned how important it is to focus on the needs of the students that you are working with or that you have in your classroom. It's important to do what is best and most helpful to them. I've also learned the variety of different things that can be done to help your student in the endless ways of how things can be taught. There are many research-related ways that show what should be done to help a child with a learning disability. For example, when it comes to instructing a child with a learning disability in reading, research shows that a child can be struggling due to many different reasons. For example, the student could have dyslexia, or there may be a reading disorder due to natural processing. Research shows that there are 2 methods that could be used to help this child. The first method would be to place a student into a unique and independent reading program, and the second method would be to intervene and accommodate their current reading program at the time. Thank you for taking the time to watch my screencast.